Jacqueline Lee Bouvier was born in a wealthy family on July 28, 1929, in Bellport, New York, at Stony Brook Southampton Hospital. Her parents were Janet Norton Lee and John Renew Bouvier. Her dad, John, was a Wall Street stockbroker and gave her her sense of style. He was known for his good looks and dark complexion, and he was never seen out of a tailored suit. Her mom, Janet, was an avid horseback rider and a director for the Robert E. Lee Memorial Association. Jackie was 1 year old when she first rode a horse. Jackie had a younger sister named Caroline Lee Bouvier. Jackie was older by 3 years. Her sister, Caroline, would often dress Jackie because she had a better sense of style. Later in life, Lee married a prince and got the name Princess, but Jackie married a president and was First Lady of the U.S. Their parents' marriage was not good. They divorced in 1940. Jackie and Lee were devastated because they didn't get to see their father. Lee and Jackie moved in with their mom. In 1942, Janet remarried to Hugh Auchincloss, Jr. He was heir to his family's oil company and was very rich. The new family later moved to Washington, D.C. Jackie started school at the Chapin School. Then she transferred to Holton Arms, where one of her teachers said that she was very pretty, very clever, but devilish. And she received a D in geography on her report card because she had to be sent out of the room because she was interrupting it. And her mom thought that she was just bored. Then she transferred to Mrs. Potter's school, where she graduated. She started college at Vassar College. Then she transferred to a college in Paris, where she made the dean's list. She graduated at George Washington University with a degree of French literature. She graduated in 1951. She started working at Washington Times as a reporter and photographer. During that time, she met JFK at a dinner party, and one of her friends introduced him. They got married in 1953, and her first pregnancy was a miscarriage. She named the baby Arabella. Her second pregnancy was in 1957. She named the baby Caroline, after her sister Caroline Lee. Caroline was 3 years old when her dad was elected president. In 1960, Jackie had her third pregnancy. She named the baby John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Later in his life, JFK Jr. died in a plane crash. He died, his wife died, and his wife's sister died. In 1963, Jackie had her last pregnancy. She named the baby Patrick. Patrick was born 5 weeks earlier than he was supposed to. Patrick was born with undeveloped lungs. He died 2 days after he was born. Jackie went into deep depression after the death of Patrick. In 1959, JFK was elected president. In 1961, he was sworn into office. Jackie became First Lady when she was 31 years old. When they moved into the White House, Jackie decided to redecorate it. She wanted it to be more historical and feel more like a home to her children. She sent out a full staff of people to find items from past presidents to put in it. After she was done with the instruction part, she went live and showed the world the new White House. Jackie was a style icon and a trendsetter. She was also very likable. The leaders from other countries where JFK was speaking, she would go with him, and the leaders would give Jackie items because they were so impressed of how well she could speak their language. JFK was assassinated in 1963, and Jackie was sitting right beside of him in a motorcade in her pink Chanel dress. Jackie thought she heard a motorcycle backfire, but it was actually 3 gunshots. JFK died when he was 46 years old, and Jackie was widowed when she was 34 years old. 2 hours after the assassination, Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson was being sworn into office on Air Force One. Jackie was sitting right beside of him when he was being sworn in. And she was wearing her pink Chanel bloodstained dress while he was being sworn in. The police figured out that it was Lee Harvey Oswald who murdered JFK. 2 days after they figured that out, while Oswald was still in custody, Jack Ruby murdered Lee Harvey Oswald. Robert Kennedy was JFK's brother, and he was like Jackie's best friend after JFK died. And then Robert Kennedy was assassinated in 1968, the same year that her and Aristotle got married. Aristotle Onassis was a Greek shipping tycoon and one of the richest men in the world. He was 23 years younger than Jackie. Older than Jackie. Jackie mainly got married to him because she was devastated of the assassinations of JFK and Robert. They got married the same year that Robert was assassinated, in 1968. They were married for 7 years, and Aristotle died when he went in 1975. Jackie got $26 million out of his death, and his daughter Christina got the rest. Jackie decided to move back to the U.S., and she became a book editor to live a normal life. In 1993, she was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after falling off a horse and was rushed to the hospital. Jackie went through chemo and was trying to fight the cancer, but in May, the cancer was in her brain, her liver, and her spinal cord. It was almost in her heart. In 1994, when she was 64 years old, she died at home because she didn't want to die in the hospital. She was buried at Arlington Cemetery next to JFK, Arabella, and Patrick.